All right, so we've talked through creating docs, collaborating with docs, and some basic formatting. Now we're just going to get into some more formatting and basic tools. I would certainly encourage you to take a look through all these menus. We're not going to get to everything. We're going to get to the, I think, most useful ones, but certainly spend some time looking through these. Okay. First thing I'd mention is we're going to look at header footer. So first, we're going to talk about the header. If you're having your students use APA, they're going to need a running head with a header, right? So let's say they're doing a paper on screen time and teenagers. So that's going to be their running head. I don't remember if it is all capital. I think so. Screen time and teenagers. And then I need to add a running head that has that, right? So it's probably being also an okay time to talk about tab stops. I've used tab stops maybe twice in my life, and once is when I took keyboarding in 9th grade. So anyway, we get to a right tab stop, since I'm going to want that for my running head. I tab over there, and then we do screen time and teenagers, 5 spaces. And here we're going to insert the page number, which I can do. Top of page, so that's 1. If I have multiple pages, you see it shows up on other pages as well. So that's the header, and then the rest of my title page would be there. So header will be the same on every page, footer, same. Unlike other productivity suites, you're not going to be able to have a different first page. It's not an option here. All right, as long as we're talking about headers and footers, we might as well also talk about footnotes, depending on what formatting style you're using. So let's say this sentence I can still edit, a very important sentence. I need to cite that because I used it from a study. So I can do insert footnote, and it jumps me down into the footnote section, you can see. And let's say that is from my very important 2010 work, Kids Watch TV. You get the idea. So we can add footnotes as well. As long as we're talking footnotes, we can also talk about this really, really cool tool in Google Documents, which is called Research. So most kids are used to, I gotta look up screen time things. They start a new tab, they go to Google because they don't realize that the Omnibar works like that, and then they do, screen time, and they start looking for studies and yada, yada, yada. Instead, we can use this awesome tool within Docs, which is under Tools, Research. And what it actually lets kids do is research right in the document. They never have to leave. And you can see we have all this stuff, right? So maybe I want to know about tips to reduce screen time. I can click that and it'll jump me right there. But I can also, let's say I had already been there and know something's important. I can, let's say I want to, or let's say it's even part of my references here way later. So let's center that. References, and certainly you're going to work on formatting with kids. But let's say I want to insert a link there, even within that, and maybe this fact, the Control-C, copy, was from this, and I can cite that was from that link, and it puts it in the correct format, which is really, really cool. And take a look. I can decide what kind of citation format. That's just ridiculous. So they can do a lot of their research right within the paper, which is pretty cool. Another kind of fun tool, I don't know how much you'll use it, is the Replace tool. So if I go under Tools, Preferences, let's say I know I'm going to be typing screen time a lot. You can see I already made my own rule. Let's show you how to make one. Let's say I don't want to always have to keep typing screen time. What I can do is give it a rule, like replace ST with screen time, and I hit OK. And now, anytime during my paper, this paper will discuss, and then if I type ST space, it fills it right in. So that could be useful in various ways. I haven't found that I use it much, but still a cool tool. All right, last thing, many of you are probably surprised we haven't discussed this yet, is inserting pictures, images. So there's a couple ways to do it. And let's stay on the Jupiter trend here. So I'm going to do that through an insert image. And once this comes up, you're going to see all the various options. I can upload a photo. This would be the old way. This would be mostly the non-cloud way. So it's just the way we've always been used to uploading photos. I download it to my desktop or a folder, then I bring it up. We can certainly show you how to do that. So let's go get a picture. Let's go find Jupiter. Let's go to images. There's bound to be some good ones in there. Let's use that. We can talk about fair use and copyright another time. So for now, I'm going to save image as. I'm going to throw it on the desktop for now. And then once I go back to my document, I can choose the image. And from my desktop, you're going to see Jupiter. I can bring it up. I believe there are some limits, like probably 2 megabytes and only certain types of images. So keep those in mind. I can resize. I jumped it up here, and then I can choose fixed, and I can move it around as well. This feature has also improved dramatically. That used to only work half the time, so you can see it's already being not quite working. I've found a quick way to fix that is switch it back to inline and then switch it back to fixed, and it usually gives the opportunity. Little bonus info there. So that's one way to insert an image. And let's say I want to get another planet, so now we're going to get a picture of Earth. It's a nice planet. So I'm going to insert image, and I don't want to upload it this time. I actually want to do it, and this is how I taught my kids because it's the most cloud way. We don't have to leave a copy of a picture anyway, and that's by URL. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to go to, let's go to images, and let's find a good Earth. Got some good ones. I like this one a lot. So what we're going to do is I click once to get to the actual image, not a link to the image, and then I right click, and I'm going to look for, all of us should be using Chrome, so it's going to be copy image URL. If you're using a different browser, it might be copy image address or something like that, but we don't want to actually copy the image. We want the URL, which is the address to the image. So I copy that, head back to my document here, and I can paste the URL there. It's going to tell me, it's going to show up here if I did it right. If I somehow copied it wrong or it's a invalid format, this won't show up, and it'll hopefully tell you why. So I can drop Earth in here, enormous picture. So from here I can resize and switch to fixed and do all that stuff as well. You get the idea. Okay. They do let you search within your drive, which is pretty cool. So if you have images in there and your albums, if you're using Picasa. The other thing I want you to notice though is in search here, they give you the option results shown are labeled for commercial reuse. So this is dealing with Creative Commons, public domain, stuff like that. I just want you to keep in mind as educators and students, we do have more flexibility, and Google's trying to do a good thing here. Protecting copyright and doing things like that. But I usually didn't have my students go through this search because I knew they'd find better pictures that they can completely legally use under fair use out through, just Google Images through there as well. So that's inserting images, and of course, you can always take a distorted picture. Select, and it will drop it in as well. So hopefully those are a few more tools that you'll find useful.